for everybody. Thanks for checking this out. We're going to call this Geek'n with GaNzA, I guess, installment 2A, because I realized after making the second video that I didn't tell you anything about the upgrades here with the grow bed. And this was about 6 months of, yeah, a good 6 months of research. And honestly, research, I mean, in finding the perfect substrate, and not only the perfect substrate, but the perfect amount of moisture. Because you'll see there's some calcification here, right, trying to get in the shadow, on some of the lava, which you don't want to see. A little bit of scaling, but a little bit is fine. So what I did is originally I had rocks in here with soil. The soil was staying way too wet. So I changed the substrate out. The substrate is, like I mentioned in the last video, mostly lava rock. This is, you know, your basic home improvement store, Home Depot we have over here in Los Angeles. And this is Osh, whatever, I don't know. But this is regular garden lava rock, decorative purpose. But it is lava rock and there's no chemicals on it. You want to rinse it out real good, of course. In the bag, I like to just cut a hole, throw a hose in there, and just kind of beat the heck out of it. Let everything run clear, and you're good to go. I sprinkled some soil on top, potting soil, excuse me, and maybe honestly just handfuls, just kind of sprinkled it in there and washed it down so that would become the wash down. Let's see what else we did here. We eliminated the air system, so let's go to the main drop system I created, the PVC. Now I'm getting a splash, I think every 5 seconds. Let's see here. There we go, it's one. It's a little erratic. One thing you want to do too, in the mornings or just every few days, you want to go ahead and unplug your main air line. Make sure it's above the flow line, but you want this to happen. And what's happening here is the water's leveling out because you've been pumping air in this thing all night, all day, and it's just kind of funking the flow. So you want to let it go ahead and reset. When you plug it back in, you'll notice a massive increase in the amount that you're purging up. And there you go. I mean massive. So I use different fittings, various fittings, to get it from, keep it from splashing and whatnot. So now about every 3 seconds, there's a really good gush right there. Because of that gush, I created a bypass. You'll see water bypassing every time it gushes through. What that does is bypass literally PVC down to the bottom, not touching this substrate, no holes in the PVC, just so it can go straight, bypass the soil, and go down to the sump. And that's so we can create this constant drip. So any water that we're boosting up that we're not using for the plants, or the soil rather, we want to just stick right back in here to keep that flow, keep the fish aerated and happy. What I did here is I took 3/4 PVC and just some common elbows. There's one triangle elbow, and I tried screwing different things in there. You know, again, play with it. It's gonna be your system. Took a drill, drilled some holes. Should have used a drill press, but oh well. I don't know. I was excited. So you'll see another thing I did is, well, let's go ahead and take a minute and look at everything. Another thing I did was in the corner here, and I just drilled it out so they would be basically even, you know, so you get even saturation. What I have here is another little overflow system rather, and you can see the water purging up in here. Now this is a little off because this likes to rise up on me. But when the gravity is perfect, what will happen is, in case there's too much water in this tube, just because I don't want it to create excess of algae and stuff, which you will get, and it's not a big deal at all. You won't see it forming on the lava. If you see it forming in your substrate, that's not good. You don't want that there. If it's on the PVC, that's fine. You can wipe it off, what have you. But anyhow, I have a couple little tubes going in here, and again, they just bypass directly down into the sump. So drilled the holes, and you see I have a little doohickey here. This is what I call a bypass. Now all I did is I put this little restrictor, not bypass, I'm sorry, restrictor. I made this little restrictor, and all this is simply a piece of zip tie. wire tie, whatever you guys want to call it. There you can see I just cut it, fold it in half. It has a natural tension to it. You can go ahead and stick it in there, and you'll see the more you stick it in, the less you stick it in. You know, the distance of it in and out helps with your helps minimize the and regulate the amount of water you want to come out of here. Messing with that. So yeah, I'm still waiting for my freeze to end. But let's see, that's basically the system. So we have a double bypass, one at the front, one at the end. Everything is gravity fed, so it's burping up the 18 inches, dropping in here, and then basically distributing itself evenly through the holes. And that's achieved by making sure you want to. I drilled these not directly half, but slightly higher than half. If you look, there may be the center hole would possibly be 3/16 higher than half if you want to get really technical about it. Otherwise, it's just a RCH for all you guys out there, or just a little bit. But you can see it's bubbling, and it's been really happy. So 6 months of playing with substrate. I had things that were too wet, too dry. I played with different clones of plants, you know, just stuff that I have from my garden here. I have all types of stuff, succulents and things. But I have an awesome recipe down, and it was in the 40s last night, believe it or not, over here in SoCal, in Los Angeles. But as soon as it does get back, as soon as the freeze is gone, the last frost, I can't wait to plant it. So hopefully you guys will join me on the rest of this endeavor. But again, thanks, subscribe, click. If we get enough followers here, we'll get an official channel going, and I'm going to show you guys a lot more stuff, because I'm a geek and I geek out a lot. Peace out, be good people.